It's a new year, a new season, and we are underway.
Really dominating fashion here today is going to win.
2, 3, 4 for the final time.
Win number 1 on the season, only just barely.
He is going to win here at the NOFSRL Speedway.
Wins the Emerson Electric 100K.
Gonna be Igor Barretto's gonna eke it out.
Cup Series champion is Shane Lake in the number 15.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
After an exhilarating Indy 250 week, we slow it down a little bit, but not too much, as we head to the Windy City, Chicago, Illinois, for the 15th race of the season here in the Turkey Hill National Series. This is the Mtn Dew Zero Sugar 300 from the Chicagoland Speedway in Season 6 of the NOFSRL Turkey Hill National Series. Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race 15 here in season number 6 of the Turkey Hill National Series. We are here at the Chicagoland Speedway for a 40-lap event around this 1.5-mile speedway in Joliet, Illinois, and it should be another exhilarating race, just like last week's race was at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is another crazy mile-and-a-half racetrack. The GNS physics on these mile-and-a-half races gets a little bit wild, but we're anticipating another great one here tonight. As always, Chicagoland always delivers with exciting racing, and we're excited for tomorrow's race as well in the NOFSRL Cup Series. Joined alongside Andrew Miller for the first time since Daytona, and Trey Wright for the first time in quite some time as well. Good to have both you guys back. And Andrew, you won the All-Star race at Charlotte in a Cup car, but in the GNS cars, in the Turkey Hill National Series cars, they get a little bit looser than they do in those Cup cars. What does it take to win here at a place like Chicagoland when you're kind of fighting that race car the entire time?
Well, just like you said, they're going to be slipping around all over the place, so it's going to be a matter of just trying to hang on to it, but also at the same time trying to get your way to the front, especially if you're in the mid and the back of the field. This track is pretty well known for some crazy racing with guys trying to get up to the front as quickly as possible. I think we're going to see a lot more of that. Hopefully, they won't go too crazy. They'll be able to keep it at least somewhat patient, because getting to the front but ended up with a wrecked race car at the end of the day is not what you want. So finding that right balance between urgency but also patience and able to keep the wheels under you, that's going to be the key to success.
Absolutely. And Trey, we tend to see a lot of big wrecks here at Chicagoland. When they wreck here, it's usually not small. What do you need to do to avoid getting yourself in a situation that could present a big wreck like that here at Chicagoland?
I think the biggest thing that these guys need to focus and pay attention to is not going 3 and 4 wide through the corners, because if you go 3 and 4 wide through the corners, chaos happens. And like you said, the chaos here is not small. There's not a whole lot of exit paths for these guys to do. So drivers need to be on their best behaviors, especially early on in the race. But coincidentally, early on in the race is the best place to pass, is the best opportunity for these guys to pass, since the pack gets so strung out here at the Chicagoland Speedway. So I'd say on the restarts and definitely on the start, it's going to be wild here just at the track in Joliet.
Yeah, it should be an interesting one to see how it all shakes out for these guys. We could end up with a caution-free race, but odds are, especially what we saw last week at Charlotte, probably won't. I mean, what we have, 7 wide in that race at Charlotte last weekend? That was, I don't think we'll see that tonight, but we could see the result of that 7 wide end up taking place with maybe 4 wide here tonight. This is how they line up in the point standings. John Andrews is starting to take a bit of a hold in this championship for a while there. It was very close, but Andrews starting to pull away just a little bit, but he does start kind of deep in the field. 385 points towards the championship for the veteran. Then Audrey Baranowski's another veteran, 20 points behind. Stephen Colon is 25 points behind. Mitchell Collins, 34 points behind. And Roberto Crown Jr., 35 points behind coming into tonight's event. The 15th race of the season. Next Friday night when we head to Iowa, we're going to be halfway through the season already in the Turkey Hill National Series. So, it's coming. That championship in November is going to be coming here very soon. And a good night for Go Neum Racing as both of their drivers start on the front row here tonight. Elijah Gordon and Will Parrish locking up the front row. Of course, Elijah Gordon, Cup Series champion, had a great run in the Coke 600 when he qualified his way in for that race last weekend. In row number 2, BB Ruiz to the inside of the 73 of Ian Siegel. And we got Colin Teagan, Joey Hightower. Hightower won Las Vegas earlier this season. Then you got Justice Idell and Daniel Bouchard making up row 4 with Dan Park and Micah Knapp in row number 5. I know you guys haven't called a Turkey Hill race in quite some time, but who do you guys think is going to go to victory lane tonight in the Mtn Dew Zero Sugar 300?
Well, of course, I'm biased for my team owner, Justin Zeidel, over in the Cup Series, so going to be rooting for him. But I think that him and the guy next to him, Daniel Bouchard, might be in a good position to make their way to the front, but they're not too far back that they might get caught up in a bit of a mess. So I'm keeping my eye on the fourth row.
So gonna say that that number 44 of Ben Crouch is looking pretty nice on that inside laner. Just anybody on this inside lane is gonna have a good shot to win this race, and just stay clear of trouble, guys.
That's all you got to do. You got Dustin Davis, who won last time at Indianapolis, and I mean last time was Priam McShane, who starts inside midway through the field as well. We're ready to get this one started. They're already across the line. We're green flag racing in the Mountain Dew Zero Sugar 300. Side by side on the first lap of the race between Elijah Gordon and BB Ruiz, but Gordon will lead lap number 1. We got 3 wide here. Colin Teague trying on the inside. There's not much grip on that inside lane, though, especially if you enter in a little too deep, but BB Ruiz was able to get it to work right there, and he's going to take the lead away from Elijah Gordon.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see which lane is going to prevail, because obviously the short way around is on the inside. There's a little bit more grip on the outside. Right now, the 35 is using that to his advantage. That Burger King machine, though, doing a good job of keeping it down there, but going to have to relinquish the lead for the time being. But we'll see how those grooves will shake up as the night goes on.
Here comes Will Parrish in the 23 trying to work the inside, but that inside is just not having any grip contact there between Ruiz and Siegel. And they keep it together for now. Ian Siegel all over the back bumper of the 98 machine right there. We got the 89, I should say, Colin Teague on this inside lane as well. Trey Bartow moving up as a round. That's Micah Knapp and Dan Park also going around. And just as we expected, they get a little edgy off that corner, and they all stack up, and that's exactly what happened right there. Micah Knapp in the 67. Looks like he's going to be done for the day. We've seen worse wrecks here before, but Dan Park also got caught up there. Josh Williamson might have gotten a piece of that one. And again, Isaac Nichols, who hasn't even cracked 200 points yet this season, once again caught up in an accident. Julio Caesar as well, and that's our first caution of the night early on here in this Mountain Dew Zero Sugar 300. Ethan Farley with a lot of damage as well on the 00.
Yeah, just the back of that pack as we see some stacking up through turns 3 and 4 between the 77. I think did the 51 of Landon Smith Jr. run into someone? Oh, Ethan Farley getting turned around. So these guys not being able to figure it out through turns 3 and 4. This track is weird with the LP files sometimes when they're under caution, but looks like everybody in the front of the field has been able to figure it out. But the back of the field is usually just a beehive of activity, and sometimes stuff like that can happen, and unfortunately that is going to take out I'm not going to say that's going to take quite a few guys out of contention for the win, but only a couple of guys out of the race completely. But a tough break for a lot of these guys who did not have good qualifying results, and that's going to have nothing to show for it, unfortunately.
Yeah, all those guys, none of them really inside the top 10, but they could have easily worked their way to the front. A lot of the guys who have been up front so far in this race still in contention, but that's going to take out quite a few guys right there, and wasn't as big as the first wreck that we saw at Charlotte last weekend, but definitely not what those guys wanted to see. Nichols will still be able to be out there. Marty Johnson may have just come down the pit lane, but Landon Smith Jr. also had some damage. A couple guys will be out. I think Dan Park will be one of them in the 30. Maybe not. Mike and Knapp may actually end up being the only guy who gets knocked out from this accident, which is surprising because we had quite a few guys take some hard hits there. Either way, let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the first caution of the night here at the Chicagoland Speedway, and then we'll get back to racing with Elijah Gordon, who has led every single lap so far here in this Mountain Dew Zero Sugar 300. And you're going to see right here, they got some 4 wide going on here. Stephen Colon there on the outside lane. It's Braden Perez who just gets a little bit too edgy there and slides up in the Micah Knapp. I'm sure Knapp's not going to be happy about that one. Gets up in the Colon, and then Dan Park nowhere to go. Julio Caesar bumps around with Ben Grorwich. And a lot of these guys, I think, do generally avoid it, except for Ethan Farley there in the 0-0, and that hit's going to take Farley out of the race. Mitchell Collins, Landon Smith Jr. got hit pretty hard there, and Andrews actually got some damage as well. Our points leader, Noah Clifton there in the 46 machine, Josh Williamson through the grass. A lot of these guys just spun around, a little bit of contact there between Vargas and Knapp, but we saw a much bigger wreck at Charlotte last weekend, and hopefully this will be the only wreck of the night. But Isaac Nichols, another guy there who's just had an awful season in that 37 machine, once again torn up. And then Aiden McCrow back in there, also got some damage, but Micah Knapp and Ethan Farley got the worst of that one, as both drivers will be out of the race after this one here from Chicagoland.
Yeah, just a little bit of a too close for comfort there, and then at this point, as cars are going around, track is pretty much blocked. You really cannot try to rapidly change direction here, so everyone really just doing their best to navigate the carnage and hope that they don't get too much damage out of it. Unfortunately, for Micah Knapp and Ethan Farley, that is not going to be the case. They are going to be out of it.
Tough break for those guys, but it's the name of the game sometimes, and it's something that we tend to expect here at Chicagoland. We'll probably have an early wreck in tomorrow night's race as well. But either way, Elijah Gordon, your race leader, only driver to lead so far. Let's see what he does on the restart here in the Mtn Dew Zero Sugar 300 at Chicagoland. We're back here at the Chicagoland Speedway after that sort of big accident off the exit at turn number 4. Hopefully it'll be the only one of the night. Last year we only had one caution in this race, and only one driver will be knocked out. 2 drivers actually will be knocked out from that accident. Ethan Farley in the 0-0 and the 67 of Micah Knapp. Tough break for those guys. 38 drivers still in the lead lap though, including Dan Park, who almost went upside down and all that. Every lap so far has been led by Elijah Gordon in the number 35, looking for his first win of the season here in the Turkey Hill National Series, and hasn't been the best of seasons for him as he comes in 36 in points, but a great opportunity for him here tonight. BB Ruiz, Ian Siegel, Will Parrish, Joey Hightower. The top 5 back underway here at Chicagoland.
Automatically to the inside goes the 98 of Ruiz. The second and third place positions are the place you want to be at the Chicagoland Speedway on the restarts, because just look at the run that they're going to get. And they're going to go 3 wide for about the second position. Gordon is going to fall back on the outside lane. It's going to get tight through the corner. Parrish had to check up there on his entrance. He's going to slide up a bit. Someone almost gets in the wall back, and they're going to be seeing that all night long. But Ruiz to the front of the pack. 9 down of the scheduled 40 laps.
Joey Hightower making some moves here as well. Hightower's had, outside of Armory Digital, a really good season. 11th in points, like I said, 1 Las Vegas. That so far is only top 5 of the season. However, Las Vegas and Chicago are both mile-and-a-half racetracks. They race very differently, of course, but Hightower may have a good shot at winning here tonight. Elijah Gordon, though, on the outside there of Ian Siegel, and that outside lane is clearly the dominant line here, which is going to make passing very difficult, which that pass right there that BB Ruiz made on Elijah Gordon could prove to be very pivotal to who wins this race. We're also going to have a cycle of pit stops in tonight's event as well. I think fuel window about 30 laps as it usually is here, so we'll have to see how that affects the outcome later on in the night.
I noticed the aggressive move that Siegel made on the restart, made it 3 wide up the middle. If that's telling of the type of moves that 73 is willing to make, if he's able to get up to the front, I would be very concerned if I were the 35 or the 98, as actually the 20 or 23 rather, trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, he really had to check up, though, entering the corner. That inside lane just has no grip at all. It's almost, I mean, this is the 2011 version, so there is no PJ1. I don't know if they had invented that yet, but it's almost like there's PJ1 up on those higher grooves, and it's really coming into effect. Hightower to the inside of Siegel. Bouchard on the inside of Zidell back in there, but those are the only 2 double file battles you really have going on right now. Elijah Gordon trying to close back in on BB Ruiz right here, and he is doing a good job closing in, I do believe. He's only about a quarter of a second off. We'll have to see if he eventually finds a way to the back bumper of the 98 and have a shot at this race victory. A pretty calm race outside of that one wreck, though. They have spread out quite a bit here. Hightower unable to get around Siegel, and now Will Parrish. Now Bouchard with a great run on the outside of Colin Teague right there. Bouchard going to move up to the 6th position, and you have a shot on Will Parrish as well.
at the line. They're going to go 3 wide through the corners. Bouchard dives underneath Parrish, and Ruiz gained a little bit there on Gordon in the 35, but you did mention it. The draft here at the Chicagoland Speedway can be fairly effective. It's not as effective as some tracks as Daytona or Talladega, but you can still get a pretty decent run off of a guy on the straightaways as we follow along here with the 54 of Trey Bartow trying to get around. Not sure who that is in front of the 24 of Braden Perez. Perez is going to retain the position so far. Now Gordon is right on the back bumper of Ruiz, only a tenth of a second off, and he's going to try and move to the inside of that Burger King Ford Mustang. That's going to draw in the 73 of Ian Signal. I don't believe I pronounced his name correctly. Ruiz is going to get the run on the outside. That's going to draw in the 25 behind them. 4 cars underneath a blanket here, single file, as Ruiz continues to show the way around the Chicagoland Speedway.
Elijah Gordon did close in quite a bit there, but now Siegel pulling into the back bumper of Gordon, and then Hightower right in this battle as well. Siegel going to try to work that inside on Gordon here on lap 15. Unable to really get the run, but he may be able to push him up and make this move. You have to really see that inside lane work out so far in this race, but we may see it right here, especially considering that Siegel has some help there from Hightower.
I am actually very fascinated at the fact that it almost seems like there may be a bit of a dirty air effect as well. It seems like when you get really close to the guy in front of you, then you suddenly drop back a little bit. So dirty air might also be coming into play for some of these guys as they get closer to the leaders.
And Siegel will take second away. Elijah Gordon trying to hold on to that third position from Joey Hightower. Will Parrish here as well. And now those 4 guys have actually kind of fallen off from BB Ruiz as Ruiz has pulled away in the 98 machine. And now we got Dan Park here in the number 32 who was involved in that accident. He's kind of fallen off all the way to the back of the field here, about 26 seconds off. And more than likely he will be surpassed by our race leaders before the cycle of pit stops begin. Gordon going to move right back to the inside of Ian Siegel. And he's couldn't hold that inside. He did not have a good entry into the corner, and they're going to remain side by side off the corner right there. Now you got Will Parrish trying to make a move on Hightower, but Siegel and Hightower are going to both work those outside lanes to their advantage and hold on to their respective positions. It's not like Charlotte where it was easy to pass, where that inside lane was where you wanted to be. This is a much more difficult place to make a move, and we're definitely seeing that here tonight in this Turkey Hill National Series race. They're closing in on Dan Park right here. And Gordon may actually use Dan Park as a pick right here on Ian Siegel. Yep. But now Dan Park's going to cut down on Elijah Gordon. Not going to do it. We had a very similar situation to that in the Cup race last year when we had Sam Oskin, Jesse Turner, Zachary Fitzwater all battling for the race win. And lap traffic can always become a factor here at the Chicagoland Speedway. Back to the lead, and BB Ruiz pulling away, but now it's Gordon and Hightower second and third, then Siegel and Colin Teague there in the 4th and 5th positions. Here comes Bouchard with help from Braden Perez. Bouchard's been one of these few guys who has been able to work his way through the field, I do believe. Got around that 24 machine, unable to get to the inside of Will Parrish. But not much movement going on up front here. Here comes Trey Bartow on Braden Perez. This next time by will be halfway through the Mountain Dew Zero Sugar 300 here at Chicagoland.
Bartow trying to stick it underneath the 24 of Braden Perez. Perez, who's been having a pretty decent season in the Mission Barbecue Cup Series so far, runs up inside the top 10 here at Chicagoland for Turkey Hill National Series. But this time by Alex the Flagman will display the cross flags in what has been a relatively quiet race. Ruiz will get to the line first. Gordon will be second, and rounding out the podium currently is Joey Hightower, who's still under fire from the 73 of Siegel. Now the 68 of another 89, excuse me, of Colin Teague has found himself inside the top 5, 3 wide in the little bit in the pack between Bartow, the Great Clips machine of Roberto Crown Jr., and the 8 of Zidell, 3 wide there for a split second, but has been a pretty calm race, but a gauge in about 10 or 12 or so laps. We are going to see the pit cycle begin, and that is where the race is going to be either won or lost. It's a 44. My pick of Ben Crouch moves to the inside of Zidell, not able to complete the pass. The tires have worn here to shreds, and these guys are going to be screaming for 4 fresh tires here in about 10 or so laps.
Zaja Bernauskas and Dustin Davis, a couple of drivers who were up front in Indianapolis last Monday. And right now around the 14th position right there. Good runs for them, all things considered. It's clearly very difficult to work your way through the field here at Chicagoland. And like you said, Trey, I think the race is going to be won or lost on the pit lane here tonight at this point. It's playing a lot like it did last year, and very slow-paced race as well. I mean, it's a very slippery racetrack. These GNS cars can't take the high speeds too well without wrecking, but here comes Gordon, though. He's got a good run here in the 98 of BB Ruiz, and he may just dive right to the inside and take this race lead away on lap 23. Ruiz has been out front for quite a while. Will Gordon be able to hold that inside and get an advantage? He's going to keep a relatively close distance to that 98 as they head down the backstretch as Colin Teague has blown an engine. And he was running top 5 here in this race, and that is going to end his chances at a good run. It's been a tough season for Colin Teague. Came into this race 29th in points. He's going to fall back even more after all of that occurring right there. It's a tough break there for the 89 machine. Back to the race lead. And Elijah Gordon still right there on BB Ruiz, but he's going to have a run right here. Might try to peek down to the inside down the backstretch.
You're going to have to do it quickly to try to get to the inside, because even though there's not much grip down there, if you try to get a good enough arc, you could still try to hold it there, but not the outside with its muscle. On the 98 will retain the lead. That's actually going to give the advantage to the 73. Really close to the quarter panel there as pit stops are imminent.
Ian Siegel going to take second away from Elijah Gordon right there. Joey Hightower's here in the 25 machine. I think anyone inside this top 10 still has a shot at winning this race because, you know, you pull some strategy, you might have a good shot at going to victory lane. And with how this race is played out, you could easily pull some strategy, especially considering how few laps there are going to be after the cycle of pit stops. I mean, you could theoretically try to go no tires and just go fuel only and gain a lot of time on the pit lane that way. It's going to be interesting to see how it all goes down. Hightower going to make a move on Siegel right there. But BB Ruiz has been the dominant guy of this race, looking for his first career Napa fan win here tonight. He's going up against Elijah Gordon and Joey Hightower. A couple of guys have been racing for a very long time. We have a few wins on the channel. Ian Siegel's never won either. But, I don't know. Elijah Gordon may still be the guy to beat in this race. Even though he did lose the lead to Ruiz on the restart there, he has been hanging in second pretty much this entire time since that 98 took the race lead. We only have 13 laps to go in this race here in the Mtn Dew Zero Sugar 300 at Chicagoland. And Elijah Gordon going to try to close in here before the cycle begins, but it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be close to see how it all shakes out. Meanwhile, our points leader has not had a good night. John Andrews back in there in the 30th position. And Bernauskas, who came into this race only 20 points behind, is much further up through the field. She is in 12th. She's actually only a couple positions away from tying John Andrews for the points lead heading into Iowa next weekend. And Bernauskas has actually won a race at Iowa before in the Truck Series, so Bernauskas could definitely be looking at this points lead here very soon in the Turkey Hill National Series, especially once we get to that halfway race in the Menards 250 next Friday night. So definitely intrigued to see how that all shakes out in the championship. Elijah Gordon, though, he's 36 in points. He wants the win to prove that he is still a championship caliber driver. Of course, a two-time Cup Series champion coming down here in the Turkey Hill National Series this season, and hasn't been a good season for him, unfortunately. Only one top 5 and 2 top 10s in 14 races so far this season. He would love to get another top 5, maybe even a race victory here today, but 11 laps to go, and it's difficult to make that move on BB Ruiz.
He's going to have potentially have a shot to do so, as Bouchard looked a little slow off the corner there, but he's regained his composure. And now we are at lap 30. This is the magic number where the pit window is going to start to open here. Actually, the pit window is open here at the Chicagoland Speedway, so expect these guys to duck down on the pit lane within the next lap or so. At the line, 35, and here's for the race lead. Is Bouchard going to be able to get by Ruiz before the cycle begins? They're door-to-door down the back straightaway. That's going to draw in Hightower.
Gordon has it, and Hightower may also get a position here. That 35 was patient, and Elijah Gordon going to take it away. Now, we did have those few laps under the caution, and that might be why these guys have yet to come down the pit lane yet. But that cycle's going to be beginning here very soon, and it's going to be right now. Julio Caesar, one of the first guys to come down. And then back in there, Isaac Nichols as well. Should be interesting to see how that all plays out, but Gordon has taken the race lead back away from BB Ruiz, and now Hightower in the mix here. I'd watch out for Bouchard. That number 7 may just be the dark horse to win this race, and Bouchard's a guy who comes in 12th in points. He's a championship eligible driver. I mean, all these guys are championship eligible, but definitely a guy who could win this championship. Ruiz going to come down, and now Will Parrish. It's a very spread out cycle. You got Blake Parker back in there, Stephen Colon as well in the 80 machine. We're going to have to see if any of those guys gain an advantage now. I'm wondering if some of these guys are trying to stretch it as far as they can just in case a caution does come out during this cycle. Because obviously if a caution does come out during the cycle, you end up with a lot of guys on the tail end of the lead lap. But I would imagine Elijah Gordon, Joey Hightower, Ian Siegel, Daniel Bouchard, they're going to be coming down here very soon. And it looks like this time by, well, Bouchard's going to stay out there in the 7. I don't know how well that's going to work out for him. I would imagine that BB Ruiz is going to have a bit of an advantage on these guys for coming down a lap earlier. Obviously, tire wear definitely coming into effect here at Chicagoland, and that 98 may be able to gain an advantage on all those guys he was racing with.
So I think that whoever pitted first, which would be the 98 on that cycle there, I think is going to have the advantages of another engine failure.
Dustin Davis again. It happened in the Indy 250 early on, and it's happening once again to the Hair Gel Motorsport driver of Dustin Davis. I tell you, he's commonly known as one of the unluckiest drivers in the NOFSRL, and it looks like that name will continue on its legacy here tonight. Now here's Elijah Gordon in the 35, and BB Ruiz is a little ways off there. I think this 35 is going to beat him off. I'm wondering if these guys took 2 tires or not. Ruiz is going to close in, though, I do believe. He's got those warm tires, and he's going to be closing in, but we're closing in. For these guys, it's going to be 6 laps to go next time by. Actually, you know what? They may actually be coming to 5 laps to go right here, and if that's the case, Elijah Gordon may be at the advantage. Apologize for the lagginess. This is a very weird racetrack. And I haven't done anything to it, and it's just gotten weirder over time. There's Bouchard, and there's Trey Bartow, and Bouchard may be able to beat Elijah Gordon off here. Oh, this is going to be close. Gordon will get the advantage on the outside, but Bouchard's going to be right there, and officially next time by, it will be 5 laps to go for Elijah Gordon.
So the overcut was the right move there. I am very surprised, but hey, it worked out for the 35 and the 7 especially. But now the 35 with a bit of an advantage and them racing behind him. This looks like Elijah Gordon in the catbird seat to bring this one home.
Yeah, it's not over yet, though. He does have, well, I don't think Williamson's going to be a factor. I think he's going just as fast, but Dan Park kind of coming in play here. And Ian Siegel in second, trying to close up to that 35. BB Ruiz fell back just a little bit, but Blake Parker gained a lot of time right there, and he was one of those guys who came down early, so they kind of mixed in all over the place. And in the championship, Baranowskis is now inside the top 10, and John Andrews has, let's see where John Andrews is, 25th, so Andrews going to hold on to the points lead, but barely at the end of the day as they're all getting around Bouchard. It's going to be 3 laps to go next time by for Elijah Gordon in the number 35. Looking at his first win on Appafan in quite some time. Actually, about a year. I actually think he won a race last year when we had the shootout, the Junior Johnson Memorial shootout. So, but still, you know, been a while since he's won in a series on Appafan, and this will definitely be a very welcome win. And Derek Hamill once again looking to get another owner's win on Appafan. This may be his 30th career win as an owner on Appafan if he can pull it off here, and it's looking pretty good right now for Elijah Gordon.
Definitely is right now. 1.5 seconds is the distance between the 35 and the 73. We'll have to watch. That's Hers machine is going to hold up the 35 of all. The 75 of Williamson will hold him up. But I think Williamson is just on the tail end of the lap via pit stops with 2 laps remaining. It's looking like Elijah Gordon is going to go to body armor victory lane at the end of this one. I think the real battle is going to be for second between Deagle and Hightower.
Yeah, these guys, I don't know if they're going to be able to pass each other or not, but Gordon is out of here in the 35, and only unless something drastic happens, looks like he might scoot away with this one. White flag in the air, and the Mountain Dew Zero Sugar 300 for Elijah Gordon in the 35. And it's looking like Gordon might pull this one off here tonight. He's going to get around Josh Williamson right there. And from the pole position, he did not lead the most laps in this race, though. That was BB Ruiz, but Ruiz did not gain the advantage there on that cycle of pit stops. And Elijah Gordon was able to jump him on the cycle. And Elijah Gordon, the two-time Cup champion, is going to go back to victory lane on Napa Fan. Elijah Gordon wins at Chicagoland in the Mountain Dew Zero Sugar 300.
It's going to be a very popular win for Elijah Gordon, and he is back here in the NOFSRL, ladies and gentlemen. Elijah Gordon wins the Mountain Dew Zero Sugar 300 at the Chicagoland Speedway.
A great win there for Elijah Gordon. Like I said, one of the all-time winningest drivers on Napa Fan, too. Let's see. I'll give you the official number for this because I want to make sure I get it right and not just guess on it like I do. I mess it up a lot when I mention a driver and how many wins they have, and I tend to get it wrong. But let's open this up right here. Elijah Gordon, that right there is his 18th career Napa Fan win, and only his second, however, here in the Turkey Hill National Series. And if I'm not mistaken, that's his first win in the series since 2015. So it's been a long time since he's gone to victory lane here in the National Series. But he is back in victory lane as he wins the Mountain Dew Zero Sugar 300. We'll export these standings just to ensure that the race is in fact official. And Andrew, that was an interesting race. It was kind of calm there. It was very difficult to pass. How do you think that's going to translate into tomorrow night's race in the NOFSRL Cup Series?
Probably pretty similar. I am actually very surprised at how much they did get strung out, and the fact that the overcut pitting later was actually the right move, given the level of tire wear. So I hopefully it'll be similar, because then I can try to keep that in mind. But you never know. I might throw in some fun stuff to try to make it interesting. But now it's going to be a good show, and congrats to Elijah Gordon on that victory. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, pretty good race here tonight. I think we really had our expectations really high. I mean, we're still going off that Indy 250 and all those awesome races we had last week. This is a little bit different than all those races we had last week, but still a great one nonetheless. Well, that'll do it from us, for us here tonight from Chicagoland in the Mountain Dew Zero Sugar 300. And Elijah Gordon going back to victory lane for his 18th career Napa Fan win here tonight. Definitely great to see him back in victory lane. And who knows, maybe he can gain some momentum. We're going to be halfway through the season next week at Iowa, Menards 250 next Friday night. That should be a great one, as it always is. At Iowa Cup Series is off next weekend, too. So they're kind of... We got that, and we got IndyCar at Texas next weekend. So it'll be an interesting weekend next week. But definitely looking forward to that one around the Iowa Speedway. And should be another fun one here in the Turkey Hill National Series. Tomorrow night, Sirius XM 400 in the NOFSRL Cup Series. That race was a banger last year. Should be another great one this year. The Cup cars race a lot better here at Chicagoland than the National Series cars do, so definitely looking forward to seeing how that one goes down. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Elijah Gordon for getting the race victory here at Chicagoland, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night for the Sirius XM 400 in the NOFSRL Cup Series. On behalf of Andrew Miller and Trey Wright, here are the points for the Turkey Hill National Series after 15 races, and I will see you guys later.